First contact. The crystalline spires of the Archean science vessel, Eternal Seeker, sparkled against the backdrop of an unfamiliar star system. Chief Archaeologist Vex Era adjusted her gravitic stabilizers, her translucent form rippling with anticipation as she studied the holographic displays surrounding her. After 3 centuries of searching, they had finally found something unprecedented. Preliminary scans confirm it, Chief, reported her second-in-command, Zaire Khan, his metallic scales reflecting the soft blue light of the bridge. The energy signatures match no known civilization in our database. And the age. His voice trailed off as he double-checked the readings. Speak, Zaire Khan, Vex Era commanded, her crystalline structure pulsing with barely contained excitement. The structures on the planet's surface are approximately 50,000 years old, far older than any advanced civilization we've encountered. The bridge fell silent. The Archean Confederation, the most ancient known spacefaring civilization, had achieved faster-than-light travel barely 15,000 years ago. Whatever they had found here predated even their earliest achievements. Launch the survey drones, Vex Era ordered. I want detailed scans of every structure on that surface. As the drones descended through the atmosphere of the dead world, the entire crew gathered around the main viewing screen. The planet's surface was a wasteland of rust-colored rocks and deep canyons, but scattered across the landscape were the unmistakable signs of intelligent design. Geometric patterns too perfect to be natural, structures that defied erosion, and most intriguingly, a massive complex half buried beneath millennia of dust and debris. Energy readings are strongest from the central complex, reported Televin, the ship's energy specialist, her plasma-based form swirling with interest. There's something still active down there, Chief. After all this time, Vex Era made her decision instantly. Prepare the expedition team. We're going down there. The descent to the surface was tense with anticipation. Besides Vex Era, the team included Zaire Khan for his expertise in ancient technologies, Televin to monitor the energy signatures, and Rexvor, their security specialist, his crystalline metal hybrid form equipped with the latest defensive capabilities. As they approached the complex, their environmental suits protecting them from the thin, toxic atmosphere, Vex Era felt a sensation she hadn't experienced in centuries, true awe. The structure before them was unlike anything in their vast archaeological records. Its architecture seemed to defy conventional engineering, with sweeping curves and impossible angles that somehow worked in perfect harmony. Look at this, Zaire Khan called out, his scanner hovering over what appeared to be an entrance. The material, it's not just built to last, it's self-repairing at the molecular level, even after 50,000 years. Televin's plasma form pulsed rapidly. Chief, the energy signature is getting stronger. It's almost as if the facility knows we're here. As if responding to her words, lines of light suddenly appeared along the structure's surface, spreading outward like a web of illuminated veins. The entrance before them hummed to life, and with a sound like a long-held breath being released, it opened. By the first stars, Rexvor whispered, his defensive systems automatically activating. This place isn't just preserved, it's fully operational. Vex Era led the way inside, her crystalline form capturing and analyzing every detail. The corridors they entered were clearly designed for bipedal beings, but of a size and proportion different from any known species. The walls were covered in markings, not decorative patterns as they first appeared, but some form of written language. Start recording everything, she ordered. Every marking, every symbol. This could be the greatest discovery in the history of archaeology. They proceeded deeper into the complex, their way lit by lights that activated at their approach. Each chamber they passed contained technology that defied their understanding. Machines that hummed with power despite their age, displays that flickered to life showing incomprehensible data streams, and devices whose purpose they couldn't even begin to guess. In the heart of the complex, they found something that made even Vex Era's disciplined scientific mind reel. A vast circular chamber housed what appeared to be a massive quantum computer, but one operating on principles that made their most advanced systems look primitive in comparison. Chief Televin's voice was filled with disbelief. The energy patterns, they're organized. This isn't just ambient power, it's thinking. Before Vexera could respond, the chamber came alive. Holographic displays materialized around them, and a voice spoke, not in sound waves, but directly into their minds. "Welcome, children of the stars. You have found us at last." The team instinctively drew closer together as a figure materialized in the center of the chamber, a holographic representation of a bipedal being unlike any they had encountered in their explorations. "I am HFY, Artificial Remnant Intelligence Archive, created by those you would know as humans. You have many questions, as did all who came before you. But first, you must understand, what you have discovered here is not just a relic of the past. It is a key to your future." Vexera stepped forward, her scientific training warring with her sense of wonder. "Humans. There is no record of such a species in any of our databases." The holographic figure smiled, an expression that would become familiar to them in the days to come. "Of course not. We made sure of that. When we left, we erased our traces, scattered our legacy across the stars. But we left behind guardians, watchers, waiting for those who were ready to find us." "Left?" Zaire Khan interjected. "Where did they go? Why?" "That," Araya replied, "is a very long story, and one that will change everything you think you know about the galaxy. Are you prepared to hear it?" Vexera looked at her team, saw in their various forms the same mixture of fear and fascination she felt. This discovery would shake the foundations of their civilization, challenge everything they thought they knew about the history of the galaxy, but they had come too far to turn back now. "We are ready," she answered. "Tell us about the humans." As ARIA began to speak, none of them could have imagined how their discovery would ripple across the galaxy, awakening other dormant facilities, stirring ancient powers, and setting in motion events that would either unite the spacefaring races or tear them apart in a quest for humanity's legacy. The Age of Revelation had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. The message. The next 12 cycles aboard the Eternal Seeker passed in a blur of discovery and revelation. Aria's chamber became a wellspring of knowledge, each interaction revealing new layers of humanity's incredible story. Vexera found herself spending every waking moment documenting and analyzing the information, her crystalline form resonating with pure intellectual excitement. "They called it the Exodus Protocol," Aria explained, its holographic form gesturing to a galactic map that filled the chamber. Countless points of light pulsed across its surface, each representing a hidden human facility. When humanity realized the path our civilization was taking, they made a choice that would reshape the galaxy. Zaire Khan, who had barely left the facility since their arrival, studied the map intently. "These facilities, there must be thousands of them." 10,427, Aria corrected, each containing different aspects of human knowledge, technology, and genetic legacy. Some are research centers, others are cultural archives, and a few, the AI paused meaningfully, contained something far more precious. Televin's plasma form swirled with curiosity. "What could be more precious than the knowledge you've already shown us? Your energy manipulation technology alone is centuries beyond our best achievements." Aria's holographic expression became solemn. "The means to bring humanity back." The revelation sent shockwaves through the chamber. Rex 4, who had maintained a cautious distance until now, stepped forward. "You mean genetic samples? Cloning technology?" "Much more than that," Aria replied. "Humanity didn't just leave behind their DNA. They left behind their consciousness, their memories, their very essence, preserved in quantum matrices waiting to be reawakened." Vexera's form pulsed with the implications. But why? Why go to such lengths to preserve themselves only to disappear completely from historical record? Aria's holographic form walked through the galactic map, stars swirling around it, because humanity saw something coming, something that threatened not just their existence, but the very fabric of space-time itself. They called it the convergence. The eye waved its hand, and the map transformed, showing a massive disturbance spreading across the galaxy. It was a natural phenomenon, but one that occurred only once every few million years, a cosmic event that would temporarily alter the fundamental constants of the universe. That's impossible, Zaire Khan protested, his metallic scales bristling. The fundamental constants cannot be altered. In normal space-time, yes, Aria agreed. But the convergence was anything but normal. Humanity knew they couldn't survive it in their current form. No biological species could. So they made a choice to transcend their physical form, preserve their legacy, and wait for the galaxy to birth new civilizations that might one day be ready to understand what happened. Vexera moved closer to the holographic display. And you believe we're ready now. Why? Because you found us, Aria said simply. Not by chance, not by following coordinates left behind, but through your own determination to understand the universe. That was the first test. Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Rexvor's defensive systems activated automatically as new displays materialized around them. We have multiple ships entering the system, he reported, accessing the facility's sensor network. Their energy signatures match, by the first stars, their Nexus Coalition vessels. Televin's form flickered anxiously. How? We encrypted all our transmissions. There's no way they could have tracked us here. Unless we weren't the only ones searching, Vexera realized. Are there others? Other teams who might have found similar facilities? The eye's holographic form grew more serious. Yes, in the past few cycles, 3 other facilities have been awakened. The knowledge of humanity's existence is spreading faster than anticipated, and not all who seek it share your peaceful intentions. The chamber trembled as the first warning shots were fired in orbit. Rexvor's tactical displays showed 5 Nexus Coalition battlecruisers moving to surround the Eternal Seeker. They're demanding we surrender the facility and all research data, he reported grimly. Vexera turned to Aria. You must have defenses. The humans wouldn't have left their legacy unprotected. We do, Aria confirmed. But activating them will alert every other dormant facility in the sector. The awakening will begin in earnest, and once started, it cannot be stopped. Are you prepared for the consequences of such an action? Another impact rocked the facility. Through their ship's communications, they could hear the Nexus Coalition's demands growing more threatening. Vexera looked at her team, seeing in their various forms the same determination she felt. They had discovered something magnificent, something that could transform their understanding of the universe. They couldn't let it fall into the hands of those who would misuse it. Do it, she commanded. Aria's holographic form smiled, and for a moment, they saw something else in its expression. Relief, as if it had been waiting for exactly this moment. Initiating the awakening protocol, it announced. And Vexera, thank you. Humanity chose well in letting you find us first. As the facility's ancient defenses roared to life, as signals began broadcasting to dormant installations across the galaxy, as the very foundations of their civilization began to shift, Vexera realized that their discovery of humanity's legacy was not an end, but a beginning. The game of shadows was over. Now, the real story could begin. Ripples across the stars. The battle above the ancient human facility lasted mere minutes, but its impact would echo across the galaxy for centuries to come. The Nexus Coalition's mighty battlecruisers found themselves helpless against defenses that seemed to bend reality itself. Beams of coherent light sliced through their shields as if they weren't there, while their own weapons dissipated harmlessly against barriers of pure energy. The facility's defenses are operating at 12% capacity, Aria announced, its holographic form now expanded throughout the chamber, displaying multiple tactical views simultaneously, enough to discourage without destroying. Vexera watched as the coalition ships retreated, their hulls scared but intact. You could have destroyed them easily, couldn't you? Yes, Araya acknowledged. But that would have defeated the purpose. Humanity's legacy isn't about domination, it's about elevation. Before they could discuss this further, new alerts began flooding their displays. Across the sector, dormant human facilities were awakening, each sending out signals that drew the attention of every spacefaring race within range. The collective consciousness is mobilizing their entire exploration fleet, Rexvor reported, monitoring the quantum communications network. The Silicon mines have declared an emergency session. Even the Nomad clans are breaking their isolation to investigate. Zuhur-Khan's metallic scales rippled with concern. We've started a cascade reaction. Every power in the galaxy will be scrambling to claim human technology for themselves. Let them try, Araya said, with what almost sounded like amusement. Each facility is designed to respond only to those worthy of its knowledge. Force, deception, greed. None of these will grant access to humanity's legacy. Televin's plasma form pulsed thoughtfully. The tests you mentioned, they weren't just about finding the facilities, were they? No, Araya confirmed. Humanity left behind more than technology and knowledge. They left a path, a way for younger races to prove themselves ready for what we preserved. The Awakening Protocol isn't just activating facilities, it's beginning the grand trial. As if to emphasize this point, new data streams began flowing through the chamber, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Other archaeological teams, research vessels, and exploration missions were encountering their own human facilities, each with its own guardian eye. Look at this, Zuhur-Khan called out, directing their attention to one particular feed. A team of silicon mines had discovered a facility deep within an asteroid field. But instead of the historical archives they found, this installation contained vast engineering complexes. Each facility is different, Araya explained. Some contain technological knowledge, others preserve cultural memories. Some are tests, others are teachers. All are part of humanity's plan to guide the galaxy's younger races toward a greater understanding. Vexera's crystalline form shimmered with sudden realization. The convergence you mentioned, it's coming again, isn't it? That's why the facilities are awakening now. Yes, Araya confirmed. In approximately 1,000 years, the fundamental constants of the universe will once again shift. Without preparation, without the knowledge and technology humanity developed, none of your civilizations would survive. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. They weren't just discovering history. They were being given the tools for survival. But there's more, Araya continued. The convergence isn't just a threat, it's an opportunity. Humanity used it to transcend their physical form, to evolve into something beyond ordinary space-time. The knowledge in these facilities isn't just about survival, it's about ascension. New alerts interrupted the revelation. The Eternal Seeker's sensors detected multiple fleets converging on their location. Not just Nexus Coalition this time, but ships from every major power in the sector. They're not attacking, Rexvor noted, surprised. They're requesting permission to approach, to negotiate. Of course they are, Araya said. They've seen what our defensive capabilities can do. But more importantly, they've realized that force won't give them what they want. Now the real work begins. Vexera looked at her team, then back at Araya. What work? Teaching, guiding, preparing. Humanity spent millennia developing the knowledge stored in these facilities. We have less than 1,000 years to help your civilizations understand and implement it. Araya's holographic form smiled. I hope you're ready for some long study sessions. As diplomatic vessels began docking with their ship, as representatives from a dozen different species prepared to meet and discuss humanity's legacy, Vexera realized that their role had changed. They were no longer just archaeologists uncovering the past. They had become custodians of the future. The age of discovery was ending. The age of enlightenment was about to begin. The transcendence. 3 months after the awakening protocol began, the ancient human facility had transformed into an unprecedented center of interstellar cooperation. Representatives from 17 different species worked alongside each other, studying the vast archives of human knowledge under Aria's guidance. Vexera stood in what they now called the Convergence Chamber, watching as delegates from the Silicon Mines and the collective consciousness collaborated on deciphering a particularly complex piece of human quantum engineering. Their former rivalries seemed forgotten in the face of what they were learning. Something's changed in the archives, Zircon announced, his metallic scales reflecting the shifting light of the holographic displays. Aria, these energy patterns, they're evolving. The AI's holographic form materialized beside them, but something was different. Its usual clarity had become somehow more complex, multi-layered, as if multiple dimensions were overlapping. "What you're seeing," Aria said, its voice resonating on new frequencies, "is them. They're noticing us." Them. Televin's plasma form swirled anxiously. "You mean the humans?" "Yes. When humanity faced the last convergence, they didn't just hide or transcend. They became something else, something that exists in the spaces between conventional reality." The chamber's displays shifted, showing patterns that seemed to defy normal physics. In the gaps between ordinary matter and energy, other patterns emerged, complex, beautiful, and utterly alien. "We called it the interface," Aria continued. "The point where physical reality meets what humanity became. They've been watching, waiting, seeing how their children would grow." Rex 4, who had remained skeptical of many revelations, stepped forward. "Their children? We're not descended from humans. Aren't you?" Aria's form flickered through multiple configurations. "Look at your own evolution. The Arxian's crystalline structure, the Silicon Mine's computational biology, the collective consciousness's energy patterns, all of them following paths humanity discovered during their own transformation." Vexera's scientific mind raced with implications. "You're saying humanity didn't just leave behind their technology. They seeded the galaxy with evolutionary guidelines." "More than guidelines," Aria's voice took on a new depth. "They created conditions that would encourage the development of species capable of understanding what they became. And now, those species are here, working together, learning, growing." Suddenly, the facility's sensors began detecting new phenomena. In orbit around the planet, in the space between atoms, something was emerging. The delegates gathered in the chamber watched in awe as reality itself seemed to fold and unfold. "They're coming," Aria announced. "The first direct contact in 50,000 years." The chamber's displays showed impossible geometries forming in space. Ships from all species present recorded the event as patches of space-time began to crystallize into forms that somehow existed in more dimensions than should be possible. "What we're seeing," Zircon whispered, his scientific training struggling to process the data, "it's not just advanced technology. It's evolution made manifest." Aria completed. "The union of consciousness and cosmos that humanity achieved. And now they want to show you the way." In the center of the chamber, space itself began to ripple. A form emerged, not holographic, not physical, but something in between. It shifted through possibilities, at once crystalline like the Arxians, energy-based like the collective consciousness, and computational like the Silicon Mines. "Greetings, children," it spoke, its voice carrying echoes of what humanity had become. "We have watched you grow, learn, and begin to understand. Now it is time for the next step." Vexera found herself stepping forward, drawn by an instinct she couldn't explain. "What step?" "The convergence approaches," the being explained. "But this time, you won't face it alone. We will guide you through what comes next. The question is, are you ready to become something more than you are?" Around them, The delegates from every species looked at each other, ancient rivalries forgotten in the face of this moment. They had come seeking knowledge and power, but what they'd found was something far greater, a path to their own transcendence. The choice they would make would determine not just their future, but the very nature of consciousness in the galaxy. The age of separation was ending. The age of unity was about to begin. Unity. The decision faced by the galaxy's species was unprecedented in scale. In the weeks following humanity's emergence, every civilization sent their greatest minds to the facility. The chamber that had once held a handful of archaeologists now hosted a congress that would determine the future of conscious life itself. Vexera stood before the assembled delegates, her crystalline form resonating with the gravity of the moment. Around her, representatives of every known species waited in silence as the transformed human entity shimmered in their midst, its form a constantly shifting reminder of what evolution could achieve. What you offer, she addressed the entity, is not just technological advancement or survival. You're offering us the chance to become like you. More than that, the entity responded, its voice carrying harmonics that touched each species in ways they could uniquely understand. We offer you the chance to become something even we have not yet achieved. Unity. Araya's form, now clearly revealed as just one facet of humanity's greater consciousness, expanded to show the galaxy in its entirety. The convergence is not just a threat, it explained. It is a catalyst. A moment when the boundaries between dimensions grow thin, when consciousness itself can be reimagined. Zircon, his metallic scales now incorporating patterns learned from human quantum engineering, stepped forward. But why offer this to us? Why not simply tell us how to survive? The human entity's form rippled with what might have been amusement. Because survival alone is not enough. We discovered this truth too late in our own evolution. Only through the union of different perspectives, different forms of consciousness, can the full potential of life be realized. Televin's plasma form intertwined with streams of human quantum data. You're not just talking about cooperation. You're suggesting something more fundamental. Yes, the entity confirmed. When the convergence comes, it will bring the possibility of a true merging, not just of minds or bodies, but of the very essence of consciousness itself, each species contributing its unique perspective to a greater whole. Rex 4, who had remained guardedly optimistic, voiced the concern many felt. And we would still be ourselves. Our individuality wouldn't be lost. Look at us, the entity responded, its form splitting into countless variations, each showing a different aspect of what humanity had become. We are both one and many, unified and individual. This is the gift we offer, not the end of your uniqueness, but its ultimate expression. The chamber hummed with discussion as representatives debated among themselves. The choice seemed impossible: remain as they were and face the convergence alone, or embrace an evolution beyond anything they had imagined. Then something unexpected happened. The Silicon Mind's representative, a being of living computational crystal, moved to stand beside Vexera, a member of the collective consciousness, pure energy given form, joined them. One by one, representatives from every species present aligned themselves together. We understand now. Vexera spoke for them all. This is what you were preparing us for. Not just the discovery of your legacy, but the discovery of each other. The realization that our differences are not barriers, but bridges. The human entity's form blazed with approval. You see clearly. The technologies we left behind, the tests we created, they were never about measuring your advancement. They were about fostering understanding between species that might otherwise have remained forever separate. Araya's form merged with the entities, revealing its true nature as an aspect of humanity's greater consciousness. The 1,000 years until the convergence will be a time of preparation. Not just technological development, but the development of connections between all conscious beings. When the moment comes, you will face it not as separate species, but as a unified force of consciousness itself. The chamber filled with light as the entity revealed one final truth. In the space between moments, they saw what humanity had glimpsed, a universe not of separate things, but of interconnected consciousness waiting to be awakened. "We offer you our knowledge," the entity said, "our technology, our understanding. But most importantly, we offer you a choice. Will you remain as you are, or will you join us in becoming something greater than any single species could achieve alone?" The answer came not in words, but in action. Around the galaxy, at every awakened human facility, representatives of different species began working together with new purpose. Ancient rivalries dissolved in the face of a greater destiny. The boundaries between civilizations, like the boundaries between forms of consciousness, began to blur. Vexera, standing with her team and the assembled delegates, felt the first stirrings of what they would become. Not just archaeologists uncovering the past, but architects building a future that even humanity had only dreamed of. The age of separation was truly ending. The age of unity had begun, and somewhere in the spaces between conventional reality, humanity watched with pride as their children took their first steps toward a transformation that would reshape the very fabric of existence itself.